Well, if you're taking part in Dry January this month, but you don't want to give up the bar experience, we have just the place for you in today's Final Touch.
A bar is opened in London that serves nothing but alcohol-free beers. On the surface, this looks like just one of the many trendy bars around London's Old Street area. All of the 15 taps. The bar also offers alcohol-free wines and spirits as well. The bar is offering unlimited refills of its alcohol-free beers throughout Dry January.
It's a great idea.
It is a great idea. And the reviewers say it tastes as good as the regular craft beer.
That's great.
All right, that's our time for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here again tomorrow. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.
And right now at 5, could tensions be de-escalating now with Iran? We'll have the president's message after Iran's retaliatory attack.
A Beloit man accused of beating his child's mother with a hammer is being sentenced. We'll have the latest from Rock County.
Plus, we'll sit down with Governor Tony Evers as he discusses his plans and goals for 2020.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
And thanks for staying with us. President Trump says Iran appears to be standing down.
This comes hour after the nation's missile attack on 2 bases in Iraq, where American and coalition troops are stationed. A top Pentagon general says Iran fired missiles with intent to kill personnel. A defense official tells CBS News satellite and intelligence information provided hours of warning for troops to shelter in bunkers as the U.S. braced for retaliation over its killing of Iran's top military commander. The president, who campaigned on a promise to end U.S. involvement in the Middle East, warned about U.S. strength amid the tensions.
Our missiles are big, powerful, accurate, lethal and fast. The fact that we have this great military and equipment, however, does not mean we have to use it.
Wisconsin Congressman Mark Pocan says he attended a classified briefing today at the White House. He said nothing was given to Congress as an imminent danger, but they have to de-escalate the situation.
Just like to assure people back home that we're going to do everything we can to make sure that a war doesn't occur. But unfortunately, those very first steps have happened under the direction of President Trump.
Republican Congressman Mike Gallagher from Green Bay tweeted, if Foreign Minister Zarif is serious about not wanting to escalate beyond last night's attack, that is a sign we've enhanced our deterrent posture in the Middle East. If this is the extent of the Iranian reprisal, this is a win for America and our allies in the region. Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin says President Trump must work with Congress and our international allies to de-escalate tensions with Iran.
All right, chilly start to your Wednesday. Some snow may be on the way later this week. Let's check your first alert forecast. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary? And in the meantime, we have a big warm-up on the way for tomorrow. Let's start out by taking a look at visible satellite imagery across the upper Midwest. You can see some clouds moving in from the west this afternoon. There even have been some snow flurries, mainly to the north of our viewing area. I'm not expecting any precipitation tonight, but there could be a couple of flurries or maybe a little patchy freezing drizzle early tomorrow morning. Temperatures last night were generally in the single digits. Here in Madison, we dropped to 6 degrees. Current temperatures, or high temperatures, made it to the low 20s, but that was early this morning, and current temperatures are in the upper teens to around 20 degrees with wind chills in the single digits above zero. Temperatures will rise overnight, and again, we could see a little patchy freezing drizzle or some drizzle tomorrow morning, and then we'll look for some rain showers tomorrow afternoon with a high of 44. Later, I'll take a look at a forecast that does include some accumulating snow this weekend. Gary, thank you. The man accused of beating the mother of his child with a hammer is now facing 8 years in jail.
Jonathan Castro was charged with aggravated battery and aggravated domestic assault. Rock County reporter Adam Duxter joins us from our Janesville Gazette Bureau with why a third potential charge was dropped. Adam?
Well, Eric and Susan, when police first arrested Jonathan Castro in October of 2018, he faced attempted homicide charges. But over the course of his trial, both prosecutors and defense attorneys agreed to drop that charge. Now, Castro told police after getting into an argument with the mother of his child, he blacked out, grabbed a hammer, and used it to hit her head several times, saying something inside of him told him to, quote, finish her off. Today, prosecutors argued that he had every opportunity not to make that choice.
When they got into the argument, why didn't the defendant just let her leave? That's what she wanted to do. And it keeps going back for everyone. why didn't he just let her leave?
Castro's defense argued he's never had a run-in with the law prior to this. Now, following his 8 years in jail, he'll spend the next 10 years in extended supervision. And following that, he will not be allowed to have contact with his child or that child's mother.
All right, Adam, thank you. Police say a domestic violence incident in Beloit has that suspect has been arrested after a tactical situation that actually happened in Milwaukee. Beloit police say they were called to the 1200 block of Porter Avenue at 1:21 this morning, but the suspect left before Beloit officers were able to arrive. The suspect was reportedly armed, made threats against law enforcement. Police say that suspect ended up over in the area of 70th and Main Streets in Milwaukee, leading to that tactical situation there. The suspect's name has not been released, but they say he is now in custody.
Police in Rock County have been bracing themselves for the legalization of marijuana in Illinois.
Started on the first of the year, and Danica Lewis joins us now with details about the first related arrest here in Wisconsin. Danica.
This is at least the first one they could prove was connected. This happened in the town of Beloit a little more than 48 hours after the new law went into effect in Illinois. An officer pulled over a driver for speeding on Cranston Road near Riverside Drive on January 3rd. While the 20-year-old driver did not appear to be under the influence, the officer smelled marijuana, which led to a search of the vehicle that turned up a plastic tube that officers have been trained to recognize as being connected to pot purchases in Illinois.
You know, you drive right across the street and you're in another state where it's legal. Those are some things that we're going to have to deal with, and it remains to be seen what effect it's going to have on our community.
Police say the driver was going 46 in a 30 zone and cited for speeding and also possession of drug paraphernalia. They didn't actually find any marijuana in the car. Other jurisdictions along the state line have also made marijuana-related arrests in the past week. But again, we have yet to confirm if any are actually connected to sales in Illinois.
We've been talking about it for a few months, how this would all happen and how it would evolve.
And it will continue.
We're starting to see it. All right, Danica, thank you.
Sure.
American Red Cross says 14 people have been displaced from their home. This was after a fire in Madison happened at 509 Northport Drive about 9:30 this morning. Madison Fire Department says maintenance personnel had been using a torch to work on some plumbing when they saw smoke with a wall, and they called 911. No one was hurt. It did cause $35,000 in damage. The Red Cross now helping those families who've been displaced.
Sauk Prairie police are looking to identify a man in an attempted armed robbery. Police say it happened at the Sauk Prairie Market on 3rd Street in Prairie du Sac Monday night. Officers say a man with a gray beard wearing a black jacket, green stocking cap, red gloves, gray pants and black shoes entered the store, approached the cashier, showed a handgun, and said he was there to rob them. Police say the man did not take any money. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Sauk Prairie Police Department.
Madison's Common Council voted overnight to repeal the master plan for Edgewood High School. So that means the school will be able to host games at its athletic field. Since 2018, neighbors have expressed their opposition to the school hosting night home games, worried about noise and the lights. Now, Edgewood's President Michael Elliott released a statement saying, quote, "We feel it was the right decision because we were never asking for special treatment. We were only asking for equal treatment." He goes on to say Edgewood remains committed to being the good neighbor it has been for the past 130 years. Governor Tony Evers says he is making criminal justice reform his #1 priority this year.
Our Amy Reed sat down with the governor today and joins us now to explain how this fits into the promises he's made since the campaign. Amy?
This type of reform was not a key part of his campaign when he ran against former Governor Scott Walker in 2018, but he has made some promises on the subject. He told me that he's working towards some of the changes that he pushed for. He said he met with the Department of Corrections Secretary today to figure out what policies he could implement to do away with or limit solitary confinement. Some other policies he highlighted on the campaign encourage eliminating mandatory minimums and investing in restorative justice strategies. Overall, he said this type of reform in criminal justice is not just the right thing morally, but it makes dollars sense too.
Other states have, red states, very, very conservative states have taken on this issue and have been able to save millions and millions of dollars or reinvested that into rehabilitation and reentry programs that actually help the state. Red states are very
He said he expects development on solitary confinement policy soon, as in the next month. As for his other campaign promises, well, we asked about those too. Tonight at 10, we'll show you which he's kept and what's stopping him from getting the rest.
Amy, thank you. The town of Wautoma is honoring a little boy for his ability to fight both on and off the wrestling mat. Miguel Duran has been battling stage 4 rhabdomyosarcoma for over a year now. RMS is when cancer forms in muscle tissue in areas like the head, neck, and abdomen. He was in remission in September, but last month the cancer had come back. Miguel won't be able to wrestle after this match because RMS is rapidly progressing through his body, so Miguel's wrestling coach, Dean Weiss, wants to fulfill Miguel's last wish.
So he gets to have a match with his favorite varsity wrestler, be a co-captain, and then also receive a letter tonight. He's been through so much the last couple of years, and just is an outstanding young man, has remained positive.
The Associated Bank in Wautoma is taking up a collection to help cover Miguel's medical expenses.
A Wisconsin family is mourning their 11-year-old son who died on a Make-A-Wish trip to the Mall of America in Minnesota over New Year's. 6th grader Mikey Horacy of Sussex had brain cancer. Mikey experienced parts of the Mall of America but became unresponsive at dinner and died on New Year's Day at a Minneapolis hospital. A GoFundMe page has raised more than $41,000, which is more than twice its goal.
Some sports headlines. Another Badger football player has announced he will leave Wisconsin early and head to the NFL. Center Tyler Biadasz made the announcement today on Twitter that he will forego his senior season ahead to the NFL. Biadasz has won multiple awards, including First Team All-Big Ten and the Remington Trophy. That goes annually to the country's best center. Biadasz joins teammates Jonathan Taylor and Quintez Cephas in choosing to leave Madison a year early in the past week. And the Brewers are continuing to make some moves in the offseason. Today, the Crew announcing manager Craig Counsell has been signed to a 3-year contract extension that goes through the 2023 season. Counsell led the Brewers to back-to-back playoff appearances in 2018 and 2019.
Summerfest has announced another headliner to its festival. Fun to even think about Summerfest right now. Halsey will play at the American Family Insurance Amphitheater on July 3rd. Other headliners for the festival include Justin Bieber, Ozzy Osbourne, and Marilyn Manson. During Summerfest, the spotlight shines on over 800 acts, over 1,000 performances on 12 stages, food and beverages, and all kinds of interactive activities. The full headliner announcement will be made sometime in the spring of this year. Tickets for Halsey go on sale Friday, January 17th at 10 o'clock in the morning.
And there's more to come on News 3 Now. And 5 Up Next, lawmakers are split on the format of the impeachment trial against the president, why Republicans want to move forward regardless.
And coming up on News 3 Now at 6, the number of shots fired calls in Madison has been decreasing. We're looking into police and community efforts that are helping to reduce the violence at 6.
And a look at the markets in Wednesday trading. The Dow with a 161-point jump. The NASDAQ adds more than 60. The S&P up almost 16. We'll be right back.
For a forecast that keeps your family safe, watch First Alert Weather.
It has been 3 weeks now since the House voted to impeach President Trump on charges of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress.
Senate Republicans say they have the votes to begin the impeachment trial, but the House Speaker has still not indicated when she'll send over the articles. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says he has the support of at least 51 Republicans to pass an organizing resolution to begin an impeachment trial. The Democrats want to negotiate on witnesses, but McConnell wants to make that decision after the Senate trial begins.
Whether it's an agreement up front or during the trial, there's going to be motions to produce witnesses, and I don't think anybody can honor their oath to do impartial justice if they're unwilling to hear the facts.
This is all about Nancy Pelosi continuing her charade that she started in the basement of that building.
President Trump and some Republicans have said Congress should be focused more on the situation in the Middle East than on impeachment. A day after Puerto Rico's most powerful earthquake in more than a century, hundreds are homeless and more than 500,000 are still without power. The 6.4 magnitude quake was the strongest in a century and killed one person. One woman said her family had just finished fixing the damage to their home that was caused by Hurricane Maria 2.5 years ago. Now they'll be forced to repair the home again.
Really, we don't have no place to stay because our house collapsed.
Your house collapsed?
Yeah, it went to the side. I lost everything.
Scientists say these earthquakes will continue for a week or maybe more because Puerto Rico sits on a complicated plate boundary.
A bombshell announcement from the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Not only are Prince Harry and Meghan Markle stepping back from their duties as members of the royal family, they are moving. The royal couple wrote that after many months of reflection, quote, "We intend to step back as senior members of the royal family and work to become financially independent while continuing to fully support Her Majesty the Queen." They intend to balance their time between the UK and North America.
The warmer weather in Wisconsin has some winter activities on hold in Madison, especially on the lakes. The average date for Lake Mendota to freeze is December 20th. The latest it's ever frozen was January 30th back in 1932. So we're at the halfway point between those two dates. This is creating some issues for people who use the lakes once they freeze for a lot of activities, and it's also creating some issues for our local economy. The Clean Lakes Alliance is hosting its popular Frozen Assets Festival next month. Many of the activities take place right on a frozen Lake Mendota, but officials do have a backup plan if the lake doesn't freeze.
It's a free, family-friendly festival, and it's going to happen whether we have ice on our lake or not. We have so many fun activities planned for on land. We have dance performances from 3 different Madison dance companies. We have an ice skating demonstration.
There's Karen Swanson. Lake Mendota has frozen over every year since records were taken, so since 1852, it's frozen.
Still taking a while to see her on there.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, one of our cohorts, Gary Canalti, joining us now, another meteorologist, talking about how cold it is out there and what's coming our way, Gary.
I just ran into Karen about a week ago, and I'll tell you, she's probably glad she's not here having to deal with this forecast because we got a lot of stuff going on. 3 things you need to know in the forecast. After a cold day today, it'll be windy and milder for tomorrow with some afternoon rain showers. Well, we could start out with a mixture of flurries or a little freezing drizzle early in the day when temperatures are slightly below freezing, but we'll get up above freezing pretty quickly. Then some snow is on the way. One round from Friday night into Saturday morning. Right now I'm thinking about a 1 to 4 inch snowfall. The heaviest amounts down toward the Illinois state line south of Janesville. And then another round of accumulating snow possible from late Saturday afternoon through Saturday night and early Sunday morning. This one bears some watching because if it does occur, it has the potential to bring some heavy snow amounts. So we've got alert days in the forecast for both of those time periods. The snow Friday night and Saturday, a little more likely. The one on Saturday night or late Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, a little more questionable. But as far as the weekend storms are concerning, what we're watching, well, we still need to know the exact path of the storm because that'll make a big difference on where the heaviest snow tracks. Also, there's also a question whether or not there could be some mixed precipitation, especially at least on the early storm on Friday, and then the snow amounts for each storm, because everybody wants an exact answer there. But what we know, at least, is that we're certainly in an active weather pattern, and there will be 2 storm systems that will affect us over this weekend. Also, both storms will have a sharp cutoff of precipitation to the north. So this could be a situation where areas south of Madison could see heavy snow totals, and north of Madison see very little. And then the exact timing of the systems, again, we're pretty confident on those. One of the computer models showing the snow moving on through as we head through the weekend and into the early part of next week, missing us altogether. The second computer model brings the heavy snow through here for Saturday night, and that would bring the potential for some heavier snow amounts. So right now, our thinking is that the first system bringing about a 1 to 3 inch, maybe 4 inch, locally 4 inch amount totals down toward the Illinois state line, with lesser amounts to the north and west. This is for Friday night and early Saturday morning. The second system, more iffy at this point, but right now the potential is there for 6 or more inches of snow, mainly south and east of Madison, with a sharper cutoff again to the north and west. La Crosse may see less than an inch of snow, and some areas in here could be close to a foot if we get hit by the full impact of that storm. Right now, things are pretty quiet. The live view from the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison. Skies are cloudy. Our high of 21 was actually early this morning. We dropped to 6, and right now our temperature's at 17. The wind chill is at 8 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. Forecast for tonight, mostly cloudy. We'll see temperatures hold steady or slowly rise from a low of 12 this evening through the 20s overnight. Tomorrow, maybe a couple of flurries or a little freezing drizzle in the morning, then some rain showers in the afternoon. Otherwise, windy and milder. High temperature back up at 44. On future track, notice those temperatures climbing overnight. By morning, we're just below freezing. Then those temperatures climb into the mid-40s tomorrow afternoon with some rain showers. Tomorrow night, those showers could mix with a little snow as temperatures drop below freezing. And then Friday, most of the rain and snow south of Madison during the day, but the snow will arrive Friday night into Saturday morning. And again, about a 1 to 3 inch snowfall, mainly south and east of Madison. As we look at the 7 to 10 day forecast, active weather pattern continues into next week. Also the possibility for some snow accumulations Tuesday and Wednesday, and much colder toward the end of next week. As we take a look at first alert traffic right now, here's the view of the Beltline at Park Street. Traffic moving pretty slowly in the eastbound direction. There's still a report of an accident near John Nolan Drive eastbound on the Beltline in the left-hand lane, a 3-car accident there. Delays right now from Monona Drive back all the way west of Verona Road. Westbound delays start around Fish Hatchery Road and go back to near Monona Drive. As far as travel times are concerned, over a half hour on the eastbound Beltline from University Avenue to the interstate, about 20 minutes going back in the westbound direction. Heading out of Madison, 25 minutes down to Janesville on I-3990 from the Beltline southward, 16 minutes to Sauk City on US 12, and 17 minutes on East Washington Avenue and US 151 to Sun Prairie. That's your News 3 Now First Alert Traffic.
Thank you, Gary.
Ahead on News 3 Now at 5, advances in cancer treatment are making a big difference for patients. We'll have the results of the latest study. More than 600,000 cancer deaths are expected in the U.S. this year alone, but despite that number, there is hope.
A new report reveals that death rates in some cancers are going down. Nichelle Medina reports.
All right. No change in the scars from your...
No. Fred Powers first battled melanoma 17 years ago. Then, in 2013, he was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer.
Did you think this was a death sentence?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. At the time, because there were no treatments at that point.
The 73-year-old is now in remission thanks to a breakthrough in immunotherapy treatment.
The tumors in my liver started to reduce, my spleen started to look better.
New research highlights treatment advances for cancers such as melanoma and lung cancer that are driving down the cancer death rate. An American Cancer Society report shows a 29% drop since 1991. The death rate fell more than 2% from 2016 to 2017, the largest single-year drop ever reported.
The therapies for those metastatic diseases have become so much better than they were 20, 25, 30 years ago.
Long-term declines for lung, colorectal, breast, and prostate cancer are behind the overall drop in cancer deaths. But while progress against lung cancer has been increasing in recent years, progress is slowing against the other 3 cancers. Dr. Kim Margolin says new therapies for melanoma are extending patients' lives, but there's more work to be done.
Those drugs are fantastic and they're good for right now. We need better and safer drugs.
Powers gets skin checks every month. He's had 5 surgeries and receives monthly immunotherapy treatments.
Everything could change at every moment, and that's why I have continuous gratitude every day.
After everything he's been through, he's determined to live life to the fullest. Nichelle Medina, CBS News, Duarte, California.
And stay with us. Gary will have a final check of your forecast when we return.
Cold today, then warm tomorrow, and then
colder
snow.
for the weekend and snow
Yeah.
for the weekend. Yeah, go figure. Well, right now temperatures are in the teens to around 20 degrees. Those wind chills are in the single digits, but temperatures will rise overnight, and then we have some snow. The best chances of snow Friday night and Saturday morning, thinking about a 1 to 3 inch snowfall from Madison southward, maybe some heavier totals down toward the Illinois state line, and then another round of snow late Saturday into Saturday night. That one could have more snow, but it's less likely, and then off and on snow chances next week.
Happy birthday, Susan.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday. Cold one for you.
Thanks very much.
Have a nice night. We'll be back at 6.